Ballad of Bellum is a game that's been doing the rounds in the world with Rudy and GameMaker for the last maybe year or so. Some of you may have seen this already. The developer, BokehDev, is fairly active on social media, and at long last, this is a game that you can actually play. I am playing the demo here. I believe that the day that I post this video should be the day that the game is officially released, so if this is something that interests you, you can head over to the Steam page, and you can wishlist it, buy it, do all that fun stuff. BokehDev did provide me a key for this game for free. Hey. However, as per tradition, I am not going to shy away from hopefully providing some useful feedback on this game. So let's get into the Ballad of Bellum. By the way, just get used to it. I'm going to be calling this like the Ballad of Bellum or something like that for probably way more often than I realize. I've been calling it that for most of this game's development until I realized that there was no D in there. It's just going to be a fact of life. So if I move the mouse cursor around, the title screen shakes. That's interesting. Alright, this is an early alpha version and does not represent the final game, although I have a funny feeling that it's fairly close. So as for the visual style, a lot of you have probably seen this on social media. You probably know where this is going. This is like peak cardboard cutout Diorama-Style, as I like to call it, Octopath Traveler, what have you. Perhaps with a little bit less UE4 bloom, but I'm sure going to be stopping and smelling the roses to look at every single, well, maybe not every single piece of like environment, because that would get old real fast, but there's gonna be I think there's gonna be a lot to look at in here. This title, by the way, I understand that this is a fully 3D object being rendered as the title and not like a visual that's been pre-rendered to a sprite. Just mildly interesting. So let us go, and by the way, I usually do this. Settings, so we've got languages, which apparently only English is available at the moment, so we've got various text speeds. I think fast is nice to have. Controller vibration, I do not have a controller. We've got some display settings here. Brightness, alright. The default seems fine. Contrast, the default seems fine as well. Shadow quality, so let's turn that up to ultra because I feel like my computer can probably handle that. Depth of field range, I'm still like waving around when like the camera's waving around when I move the mouse, and that is a little tiny bit distracting. I might recommend at least adding a setting to disable that. Depth of field, so as is often the case with games like this, Diorama-Style, you will have a depth of field that you can configure yourself. Did that just like completely get reset? Vignette fading out towards the edges. Silhouettes, I assume when you walk behind a tree or building or something like that. Occlusion fade, I assume for distant objects. Various filters. I guess this is also not available in the demo, and the intensity of said filter. Alright. I was wondering, because I did see some fairly fancy, at least on GameMaker standards, water reflections down here, and I was wondering if there was going to be like a setting for water quality, but I don't see such a thing. And then we've also got some keybinds and that sort of thing. Alright, don't know if I actually made any changes, but now let's get started here. Did I just click return? There we go. So I don't know exactly what this game is going to be about. I just really know the art style. After discovering a mysterious artifact in the forest, your friend fell gravely ill. The only hope for a cure lies in a rare flower said to bloom atop a great ancient tree. You must journey into the forest and find it before it's too late. When you're ready, leave your home and speak with the town elder and begin your quest. So, this is going to be an awkward thing to admit, but I knew that the tree played a fairly prominent role in this game because I was poking through the game's files before I started recording this, and I saw some models for a giant tree that appeared to be given great prominence in the game's files, and so I just was assuming that that was going to be important. So, if we walk around, let's see, we've got rain falling, and this rain appears to actually be falling in screen space and not just like in world space. Hey. Which is sometimes how games do rain. I'm not sure if I like it when like rain and snow and stuff is done in screen space, but this rain does indeed appear to be like tracking the world position. You can see it moving left and right when I walk around. So we've also got some very pretty lights on this post over here. I can see that I'm casting a shadow, and it's going in, like, the direction of this way. I'm noticing that this light is not casting a shadow, so we've done some directional light shadow maps, but we haven't gone all out with like cube maps upon things like this, which is probably just as well, because that would look a little bit weird and require a little bit of fine tuning on like 2D diorama parts like this. Although I don't know, Octopath Traveler does it, so. Let's see. There's also a lot of like different foliage sprites, and this is gonna be one of those games where I'm like, BokehDev, would you like sell me these assets so that I can use them? Because I like how they look. All right. So if I walk over here, definitely getting very Octopath Traveler vibes from this. Are these stairs are not actual geometry? I think those are just like a textured like quad. Those stairs. Let's see. Am I gonna wanna... Okay, so there's carrots here. Can I, like... I'm hitting E, Q, nothing's happening. I guess I don't have, like, an item to steal people's carrots or something like that. Oh, I can pick up a pumpkin. I'm pretty sure I saw in some of the, like, screenshots on Twitter and, Blue Sky and the GameMaker Discord and whatever that, you can, like, hack away at grass and that sort of thing. Can I talk to you? I can. What a tragedy this is. We're all so grateful that you're willing to venture into the forest for us. The forest can be a dangerous place, though, especially now at night. So if you don't have a light already, please take my lantern. It's the least I can offer. You can find it in the chest by the bedside. Take it if you need it. All right, so do I actually, like, not need to take it? Would it just make my life easier if I did? Wait, where is it? Oh, I see there's a control and... I also do, like, things to crawl. Should I need to do that? And to open the inventory, which is just going to be this. Alright. Oh, this is a chest. Duh. Alright. Definitely, maybe could have used that lantern. I would have been able to see that chest. I thought that was just part of the, like, end of the bed or something like that. Something I am noticing, though, is that the input icons are extremely, like... minimalist. I think those are like 3x5 characters on the input icons, and some people are into that. I am not into that. I think it's especially weird when the rest of the text on the UI is high resolution. I think it would just be fine to go with like normal character sprites for these input icons, just so that like you can read them. Like, I recognize that this is a spacebar because I recognize the shape of the word. I can't actually, like, understand what those characters are saying. Also, the escape button is not exiting this menu. That seems like a bug. It exits that menu. Does the escape menu not, like, exit all the menus? Huh. Nothing else in there for me for now. So we've got some, plants and pots over there. Fortunately, I can't quite tell what kind of plants those are supposed to be. I am probably the only person on Earth who goes around scrutinizing the houseplants that I see in games, but you can't stop me, and I'm gonna keep doing it. So, oh, I can just drop down any old ledge. Is that gonna be a problem? Can I get back up there? Because if I can just drop down any old ledge, I'm gonna actually need to find stairs. By the way, these lights here, are these fireflies? I think these are fireflies. I see them, like, floating around. Very brave of them to be out in the rain like this. If you're the size of an insect, a raindrop is going to hit you like a mild torpedo. I'm curious exactly how the lighting is being done here, because we appear to have a lot of very small lights. And I don't know if this is, like tile-based rendering, like we're drawing the screen in like chunks, or if this is some sort of deferred rendering.
Hey.
So, ooh, it's a bug in the terrain system. Or if there's some sort of deferred rendering that makes it easier to draw large numbers of lights. I'll show the Steam page after I like finish playing here for today. The system requirements for this game are not much. Like the min spec is like basically anything, and the recommended spec is I kind of assume it's just whatever BokehDev has in his computer. Quick note for me from the future. I actually did go ahead and try to run this game on one of my old Intel HD 620 laptops, and the result was not pretty. There are a few things that the game does that are fairly expensive. I have passed on my findings to BokehDev, and he'll probably take a closer look at it when he has time. But I imagine he does have to, like, take care of everything else in the game right now, so it probably won't be something that he gets to immediately. Hopefully the performance situation gets cleaned up in not too long from now, though. I think everything else I said still stands. Anyway, back to the video. I cannot talk to that lantern. Hey there, fella, and welcome to my shop with two P's and an E. What can I do for you? So I can trade things, apparently. I don't have any wares for sale at the moment, but since you're off on a mighty quest, perhaps I could lend you my shield. Alright, it's dangerous to go alone. Take this. So it doesn't look like there's anything else I can do over there. You seem to be out of stock. Guess the supply caravan can't make it through in this weather. I think this is the tree. I assume this is the tree. I see a tree stump. There's some glowing mushrooms on top. Are those like... It's also completely possible that at least some of these lights are like baked lighting. And like the fireflies are moving around, so I'm gonna assume that those are like dynamic lights. But things like the glowing mushrooms on top of that tree and the glowing mushrooms in here, I'm not sure if those are going to be like dynamic lights or if those are just going to be light mapped. I guess I could look through the game files later to see if I find any evidence of light maps.
Hey.
Your friend has fallen gravely ill, but there still may be hope. To help her, you must journey deep into the forest and seek out an ancient tree. Only at its peak will you find the soothing crown petal, a rare flower which packs powerful healing properties. The forecast is the forecast. I think we know the forecast, at least for tonight. The forest is a dangerous place, so I'll have to teach you the basics before you can leave. I've got a neat obstacle course down in my basement where you can learn all the moves you'll need in the forest. At the end, you'll also find my old sword, which will be very useful. Go down into my basement when you're ready. And then you'll, once you found my sword, come back up and I'll give you further instructions. So this is not the tree. This is, however, a tree. Okay. Let's see. Can I just like... Alright, I can just drop down wherever. Let's see. Can I go back up? I can. So, Wizarducks does not feature climbing mechanics, but the way that, like, when I briefly... Alright, I have to hit the spacebar, like, jump. The way that I, like, grabbed hold of it, actually, and I just, like, slide towards the middle actually reminds me of a different game I was working on that has a climbing mechanic. Alright, we can just pick that up and toss it. What was I saying? So I do know, or I am noticing rather, that jumping feels a little bit floaty. I don't know exactly what the acceleration due to gravity is here, but it feels just a little bit like maybe it should accelerate a little faster. Can I not go through here, or do I have to crawl? No. Is that a bug on getting back up? It seems to flash like the one frame of the character standing animation when I get back up. How do I go in there? Do I have to like pick up a thing and throw it at the door? No, but that gave me a definitely not rupee. That gave me I guess I would call it an emerald. No, don't boy, that crawling specifically on the away direction looks really weird because it looks like I'm just sinking into my pants. On the facing down direction, like the south direction or whatever, it actually looks like crawling, but when I'm facing away, it definitely looks like I'm just sinking into my pants. All right. Lever? What lever? Is there a lever that I should be noticing? Anything up here? Can I, by the way, take out my lantern? Alright, I can take out my lantern. That helps. Oh, over there. Let's see. Can I just, like, jump across this, then? By the way, this says what I think it did. Okay, I wasn't sure if it said lever or level, and I was just misreading it. But okay, so we can go and pull that out of the wall, and let's see. We can just pick up some pottery and exact our revenge on its basically existence. That's gonna be crawling. All right, I've been doing that. Is there a jump? There is a jump, but it's like not high enough for me to jump on top of this. And I can't get that money. Oh well. Let's see. Can I crawl into here? There we go. Let's go and fall down and can climb back up the ladder. How far do we have to go? You're like, how big is this guy's basement? It's got an entire Alright, what's this? Buttons can be activated, alright, by putting a weight on them. Yeah, some buttons will need a continuous weight, while others create a time sequence. What's this one gonna be, then? Alright, I hear ticking, which makes me think it's gonna be a time sequence. Alright. Which makes sense here, because it looks like I would need a way to, like, deactivate it if I wanted to be able to get up, so if it just stayed down, that would be a problem. Alright. It seemed like the game did not want to let me just, like, walk up that ledge. It seemed like I had to jump. Anyway, the Alder's Sword. A short but sturdy blade. The item can be equipped to either the primary or secondary item slots in your backpack. Is that supposed to be, like, an inventory icon? Because that was just a gray square. Let me see that again. So if I come back, I can just walk over this, but like earlier when I was here, I had to actually jump over it. BokehDev, I'm sorry that I'm just nitpicking your game, but these are all things that I've run into, like in Wizarducks and also elsewhere. And like, obviously, if I find a game that looks a lot like the way Wizarducks is presented, I'm gonna try all those things and see if I can like find a way where it doesn't work. I can't get over that. I'm sorry, I should take this more seriously. Alright, so let's go and equip that, and I'll be able to, I think, use the Q key. Out of convenience, I feel like I should probably actually switch those around. See, I can't just swap things by dragging them onto each other. I have to actually, like, de-equip and then re-equip them. Just because, like, the E key is... like, right here. And... it's probably slightly more accessible for, alright, so barricade just appeared. It's probably slightly more accessible for, like, easy use. Alright, so we've got some training dummies. Take that, stupid training dummy. So, again, this feels a little bit, like, floaty in a way that I can't quite quantify. It's like... It feels like the wind-up for this like sword attack is a little bit slow. I don't know if there's like a couple frames of like input delay, or if there's oh, the pottery respawned already. Stupid pottery. I don't know if there's like a couple frames of input delay, or if it's just the speed of the animation or something like that. But for some reason, I feel like I'm expecting it to be like a little bit faster. Also, when I swing the sword, in the upper left corner of the room, what is that? Is that like part of a post-processing surface that's being drawn or something where it shouldn't be, or is like the lantern teleporting off screen while I'm swinging the sword or something like that? That's really weird. Did I just get an achievement? I thought I was playing the demo. Am I not playing the demo? Anyway, what do you have to say, sir? You found the blade. That's great. Now you should be ready to enter the forest. The ancient tree that you'll have to seek can be quite difficult to find in the vast and dangerous forest, but I can give you instructions on how to find it. Would you like me to tell you? I am gonna go with no, because I'm going to do a lot of just turning over rocks on my own, and I'm sure I'm gonna find it eventually. Some really nice shelf mushrooms on the side of that tree stump. I just noticed those. I don't know exactly if I'm like supposed to be small in a normal sized forest, or if I'm supposed to be normal sized in a massive forest. Like, this guy's an owl. I think the shopkeeper was some other animal. Let's see, what, if I shine the light in your face, yeah, you're like a fox. Alright. I'm pretty sure the other characters I talked to were people, but, so far we're, I think, 2 out of the 5 characters I've met in this game so far are animals. Alright, oops. Okay, so now I can cut things down. By the way, can I go steal your carrots? That was mentioned briefly at the beginning. And now that I have the sword, I cannot steal your carrots. Alright, BokehDev, I'm sorry. I'm going to have to knock your game's rating down by a point or 2. On account of not being able to steal the carrots. But I am able to smash the pumpkins. So, we'll give you partial credit for that. So, back over this way. How long do I want to record for? Oh, yes, when I walk behind. I don't know if it was doing this before and I didn't see it because it was dark when I was out here, but now that I have the lantern on, yeah, okay, it is doing it, but it is harder to see. When you walk behind, like, a tree or something, there's a dither. So that objects in front of you are dithered out. Alright, let's go back in here, and I think I can nap. Alright, fine, maybe I will put the sword on the Q key. Also, I feel like the Q and E should be, like, labeled on this side of the UI. I don't actually know what these are for. Are these just, like, accessories, like passive accessories? Anyway, can I not? Hello? Can I not smash those? Do I have to go back to the shopkeeper and, like, buy a shovel or a bomb or something? I'm pretty sure the owl guy just said, like, go into the forest, and I was assuming that was gonna be in there. Mr. Chant is your name, apparently. You still don't have anything. Alright. Didn't you already give you a shield? I guess not. I don't think I... Oh, I do. Alright, so item duplication bug. Oops. Let's see, where was I? So that is, let me just go and talk to the guy again, just in case I missed something when I was fooling around with, like, the lights or whatever. Okay, you're telling me all this again? There seems to be no, like, checkpoint, so... I already got the sword. And now that I have the sword, you are telling me to go into the forest. I've done your obstacle course. Do I have to, like... You said to talk to you again. I feel like there's some sequence that's breaking here. So, like, the state of, like, I've already talked to you the first time isn't preserved when I re-enter the room. There's no room persistence here, apparently. Yeah, you're not giving me further instructions. I don't know if there's something else you have to do, but it sounds like he's supposed to be doing something that he's not doing. And I suppose that might be as good a place as any to leave this off. I probably will come back to this eventually. There's a couple 3D and GameMaker games that I'd like to come back to eventually, but I'll add this to the list. BC Ball, Exophobia come to mind. Anyway, I think I will, can I save my game? I'm assuming that we saved the game. Can I exit to main menu? And, can I, say start game? And we do indeed have a saved game. Let's see, I'm gonna just return and quit out of here, yes please, and we can go back to the Steam page because I said I would do that. Let's see. The min spec, I think, is something that I mentioned earlier. We've got a very precise 514 megabytes of free space that it requires. I don't know if that's an exact amount or if he just felt like being, like, unusually precise. So yeah, the min spec is basically nothing. I have a feeling that this will run on something older than a GTX 960 should you attempt it, but I don't have... I guess I've got a couple of laptops with integrated graphics I can try it on. The recommended spec probably looks like something that's probably approximately what BokehDev has as his, like, everyday use, both AMD and NVIDIA equivalents. Let's see, because I am me, we are going to go into the local files and have a poke around. So I noticed that there's a couple of, like, buildings here, and I think these are just, like, 3D models. Yeah, OBJ models for buildings. There also was it not in here? I thought I saw, like, the Great Tree or something like that. World? Was I losing my mind? I swear I saw a fairly large tree model. Which is why I was assuming that the tree was going to have some sort of significance. Anyway, I'm also noticing that we've got both, like, GameMaker D3D models as 3D object files, and also OBJ. I'm not sure what the situation with that is. Again, the logo is on the title screen is also an actual piece of 3D geometry. I'm not sure, like, why some are one and some are the other. I also don't know if this is a permanent solution. Parsing text-based 3D models is, in a word, slow, and it is generally not, like, Jesus, 70 megabytes for the world file. It is generally recommended that you, like, pre-process your OBJs and save them as, like, in a binary format so that they're faster to load. On the other hand, this is also not, like, the largest game, so maybe there are just bigger concerns that Bokeh has in the process of making this. Oh, GMD3D11. So this is Patrick Craif's like, extended DirectX 11, like, feature DLL. I wonder what that's being used for. Anyway, what else are we using? I'm assuming Scribble and input. Alright, so Scribble input chatterbox.obj, which is probably what he's using to load the OBJs. You know what I did not see is I did not see anything that looks like conversation files in here. There's no .yarn files in here. It's also possible that, like, he's just giving them another file extension or something like that. Huh. Oh, locomotive. I feel like I've seen screenshots of this too. Trains. I like trains. Every game should have trains. Alright, that's enough of that. We picked this game apart enough. So, Ballad of Bellum. This is a 3D game in GameMaker. It is definitely an art style that I like. It is definitely a game that I would like to play more of at some point. Not entirely sure when. In the meantime, I will have a link to the Steam page down in the description of the video. If you want to see how stuff like this gets made, I have a lot of videos on making 3D games in GameMaker, which you might be interested in having a look at, as well as even more videos on just regular use of GameMaker. You should also go check out Wizarducks and the Lost Hat, which is one of the games that I like to work on when I'm not doing YouTube stuff. Link to that Steam page can be found down below as well. I hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you all later. Special thanks to Zenjamin, Squarecrow, Spy Games, Pixelated Pope, Manta Ray, GameMaker, GameArt Indie, Edward Holt, DJ Gibbles, and BokehDev for supporting these videos. If you want to contribute to the channel, head on over to the Patreon page down in the video description to join the fun.